Well, the legal effort to force the sale of ITD's State Street campus was thrown out of court this week. Idaho Supreme Court, to be exact, with justices unanimously dismissing the lawsuit, basically saying the plaintiffs had no standing because, well, there was no signing. Quick recap. A group of developers were the highest bidders on the Idaho Transportation Department's building and property on the corner of State Street and Whitewater Park Boulevard in Boise. That building was being sold because, well, it was old and no longer being used by the agency after a pipe burst, flooding it back in January of 2022. That campus was declared surplus a few months later, and Idaho's Department of Administration started shopping it around. And then, well, when they saw that no other state agency wanted it, that is when the Hawkins companies, Pacific West Communities, and FJ Management got together and put together a winning bid of nearly $52 million. And it seemed like it was a done deal, an agreed upon deal, by March of this year. Except that's also when the ITD budget was brought up in JFAC, and it contained a line item to block that sale. Lawmakers believed it was best to just keep that property and renovate the building for $32.5 million. Ultimately, after some procedural back and forth, the sale was blocked by the legislature when they passed the new budget. So the scorned buyers, that'd be Hawkins, Pacific West, and FJ, filed a lawsuit against the state of Idaho in April, calling the reneging on the sale, quote, unconstitutional interference. But just before they were to hear those oral arguments, the Supreme Court tossed it out because, well, there was never a binding contract. So they didn't have a legal right to the property or to sue, something that was brought up the day the Senate was debating the budget on the final days of the session.
The next page, which is the last page, is empty. There is no signature. There is no public, no notary public. There is nothing on it. That signature is for the state of Idaho. There is no deal.
The companies, the buyers signed it, but Idaho did not. So no signature, no sale. The buyers believe, though, the legislative process to block that deal, or no deal, was flawed, which is why they filed the lawsuit. But the Supreme Court made it clear their opinion did not decide that issue, whether the process was legal or not. Today, Hawkins companies, they say they're disappointed, and they said it sends a clear message. Don't do business with Idaho. And the lawmakers that interfered in the free market and voted for lost revenue for the state, they said, should be held accountable by taxpayers.